Hello, and welcome to another episode of Out of Stand Nation. You know, we got a week full of soul.
So much soul.
And, you know, it's really more my style. You know, I'm really feeling all these releases. So
it got hard at the end. Okay, not gonna lie.
Man, yeah. I mean, we've been saying that for what, 2 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would. You guys say that, but you always make me have the final cut.
No, you are.
That's rude.
You are unlucky.
It's just how it falls.
You are unlucky.
It's just how it falls.
So.
All right.
So, we're ready to kick this off with some JoJo with Let Me.
And it's not JoJo's Bizarre Circus or whatever either. Ha. I don't think you guys even understand that joke.
Nope.
No.
All right.
Not at all.
Damn.
So, this is very like the thing it should automatically remind you of is, very very soul R&B, but also with twinges of ballads.
Mm-hmm.
So we start out definitely with that very guitar intro. And man, I was already hooked at that. I knew I was gonna love it.
Yep. Yeah, and especially like her vocal delivery too.
Okay.
Very wispy, you know, airy. I loved it. You know.
Yep.
So you already knew that we were be in for an atmospheric ride.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
So,
especially with that initial open soundstage as well. It's funny because actually, like, it really was that like really open soundstage at the beginning with that guitar, and then when they brought it in, and then they brought the bass in as well, they closed that soundstage really quickly.
Yep.
And made it feel very very personal.
yeah, it's kind of like you know, she's outside greeting you, and then you go in together, and you know, just enjoy a relaxing time together.
You don't hear songs doing that very often as well. Usually when they start with a soundstage, they usually stay there. But this sounds like something more than something you would hear on a stage. It sounds like something you would hear like in a cafe.
Right.
Yep.
And I really liked that. It was an amazing surprise to hear that like release this week as well.
Oh yeah.
So if you guys don't know, there was a lot of R&B released this week. A lot. I mean, we probably cut 6 or so songs that were R&B themed.
Yeah.
I lost track of it.
Yeah. So, but the ones that we didn't cut are very special.
Yep.
This one in particular doesn't sound anything like the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
This is so minimalist in like essence.
Yep.
Right.
There is nothing that like really enhances the sound here. But there's also like not a lot like that puts a lot of strain on the vocalist, right?
Yep.
Because you have to set the tone, and she does that so well.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've said that about very very few artists throughout this year and last year. But she is definitely one of the artists that is capable of pulling it off. You know, another thing that I really appreciated too is just kind of like they added a bit of a jazzy texture to it as well, to the song, and we know that I love jazz.
Yep.
Yep. And it just kind of helped give it like some of a bit of a groovy feel. Like, you know, it's just, you know, you're there, you're just chilling, you're sipping on your coffee in the shop, in the cafe.
Yeah. No, and I'd rather listen to this in one of them jazz bars. You know, just have an adult beverage, just watching it on stage with maybe like one of them jazz bands in the background. I would so love to hear it. Like,
definitely one thing that helps that as well is that plucked guitar. That plucked electric guitar is so nice, and it continues out through the most of the song, and it adds such an effect, and you wouldn't like, you can hear it, but you wouldn't really notice it was there. And that is really good, a good sign of really good mixing.
right.
Yep. Now, there was at one point in the song too where she kind of switches up her vocal deliveries. It's still R&B style, but it's almost kind of like a it's not like rapping, but where she kind of like it's almost delivered like rap, but it's not. So,
yeah, it's a little faster in delivery.
It's faster in delivery with a bit more emphasis, and it just really kind of helps shake up the pace of the song.
Right.
Especially since her vocals are what you're really anchored to throughout the song, and man, just, she's just taking you along for a ride at that point. Right. I loved it. So.
Yeah. And then, like, something else that I really loved was her interaction with the camera. Like, kind of like how she looked at the camera, the attention she paid to the camera just draws you into how personal this starts becoming.
Yep. Which is really helped by that narrow soundstage, very personal, very intimate.
Exactly.
She's interacting with the camera. Well, not so much the camera, she's interacting with you, the viewer.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And then
she's looking into your eyes, she's singing to you. Yeah.
And then having the with what Nick was talking about earlier with the minimalistic, having minimal colors, not so many bright colors. I mean, you could tell there were a lot of bright colors, but because they kind of drowned it out.
Yep, with the soft lighting.
Exactly, soft lighting.
Warmer lighting.
And then also the blue lighting, like, just it creates such a peaceful feel to the song.
Yeah, there was those two scenes. One scene where she's got like a blue light, like she's outside, illuminated by the moonlight, and in other scenes where she's indoors, illuminated by the incandescent lights.
Yeah,
with the warmer feel.
Yep. It's something. I'm going to say this again because this is another song that is so good by either a fireplace, how you guys mentioned a cafe, or if jazz bars were still popular and we could go to them, this would be a song to go listen to at one of those.
Yep. Oh man, when I heard this song, I already knew that I was gonna love it. I'm gonna want to get the album.
Yep, 100%.
Like instant.
I do wonder if this is a physical album. I hope it is.
Bruh, I want it. I want one.
Yeah, I really hope it is a physical album. Well, I guess I'll have to look that up later and let you know as well.
Yeah. Hurry up and take my money.
Absolutely.
Jihoon and Nick just throwing their credit cards and PayPal accounts or whatever. Like, take my money.
Oh my god, dude.
For an album like this, yeah. Even though it's a single.
But yeah, for anyone who hasn't listened to it yet, listen to it. It feeds.
Criminally underrated.
It feeds your soul. It feeds your soul.
It is definitely a song for the soul. Soothing the soul, soothing the heart. So, all right, so you guys ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Because this is another one that I really loved as well. So.
This was a good one.
Nick, you know what I'm all about with this. Go for it.
All right, man. So we start off here with an artist called Blue Bear with the song Thank You. Man, there is a lot to talk about with this song. First off, the guitar at the beginning.
I loved it. Loved it.
It was magical.
That it was like so perfectly synthesized. It didn't need to be any more. It didn't need to be any less. And then just almost like suddenly you get brought into those like raspy vocals.
Yes.
And that complements the guitar really well because the guitar is very clear, but it's synthesized, right? So it's a little fuzzy.
Yep.
And it complements the vocals very well because just like the guitar, the vocals are raspy. You know, it's not like you're putting a very heavy vocalist over this type of song. It wouldn't match well. Right.
It gives it, and it kind of has like a bit of a fleeting kind of feel. Kind of fleeting, maybe nostalgic. Just, like you're talking about something in a memory. You're conjuring up a memory. It's definitely a song, that you're singing based from the heart. Oh man, and especially with the, I've said this before. I think it was like earlier this year or maybe late last year. This style of music video, the atmospheric, the imagery, set in the city at night, and you're journeying along in a car, I really loved it. It's one of my favorite things to do. You know, just go for a ride with some friends at night in the city. You know, and especially with like everything that Nick had just said about the music, right? You know, that kind of fuzziness to the guitar, the raspiness to his voice. You know, the imagery of just driving along through the city at night. For myself, and maybe for a lot of you as well, I'm doing a lot of thinking at that time. You know, I'm just you know, settling some things in my mind, just thinking about some things that happened,
right?
Or you know, maybe just going through some nostalgia, like reimagining some things, and
right.
you know, all that with the music really helps kind of reinforce that feeling for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just driving, because there's like scenes where
it's just a very urban scene.
Yeah, it's where he's just going around,
walking around.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you noticed
subway going by, or train going by.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but there was also a short scene of a engagement ring as well in the beginning. Yeah, so you know it's almost as a, like you said, it's almost like a reminiscent, kind of a reminder of a relation. It could have been like a relationship, and it's you're thanking for all the great memories that were kind of.
Yep. Great memories. Thank you for your time.
100%. And I mean, on top of that, it's also not depressive, sad type of vibe, you know?
Right.
No, it's
it
kind
is
of like a settling the heart.
Yeah, it's very much in the way of like, this is a great memory, like you said, in the reminiscent aspect, but also it's like, I'm okay, you know? Yep. It's a very reassuring feeling.
Right.
It's like, the best way I can equate it is very much in the way of like, when you say like, when you're in a rough spot and you're like, but it gets better, you know? And that feeling is, not everyone can recreate that feeling.
Yep.
It's a very hard like feeling to recreate, and it's very hard, especially for people that have gone through something like a rough spot in their life. It's very hard to talk about, you know?
Right.
And so I think this song is great, especially because of the current state of the world, right? You know, like, the world itself needs a very reassuring feeling, you know, because the world's been in a tough spot for months now. So I think this song also could not have come at a more perfect time.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, man. You know, with the song, there was a point in the song where it just kind of pauses, but then it picks back up again. It's a very short, very, very short pause, but it just felt, I don't know, it just felt very impactful. Like, you know, it pauses, you got some like imagery of the cityscape again, and it just picks up right back up again. You know, and you just, and it's kind of like, you know, you're just stop to think about what's going on or what happened to me, and you just continue on with it, like, and pick back up again.
Yeah. I've said this before, but pauses are a beautiful tool for music. It sounds weird because it's like, okay, pauses are not music, right? Because there's nothing happening, but pausing is definitely a musical aspect, you know. Even back in very classical music, you know, Mozart would include rests in his music inside of the entire orchestra, and that was used to reassure a feeling, or maybe have the audience, like you said, question what's going on. But also it allows breaks in the music, and allows the music to also breathe.
It also allows what just happened in the music to kind of like really kind of just settle into the listener.
So musicians often don't. It sounds weird. It'll sound weird if you don't play a musical instrument, but musicians often see music as not as just a piece, or like just a bunch of notes on a paper. You often see it as a thing, with feelings and emotions. Almost as if it was living and breathing, and that's because music, just in that sense, needs to breathe, which is what rests are for. And
I think something that I think most people could understand as well is, like, it's similar to like a speech, right? In a speech, the person delivering the speech, they're not talking the entire time without pausing, just like this, right? At certain parts of the speech, they may say something really impactful and just leave a pause at the end of that really impactful part of the speech.
Right.
Which lets it set in.
Exactly. You think of like Winston Churchill, you think of, Obama, they do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's the same concept in music.
Mm-hmm. This is one of the songs, this is definitely one of the songs I want to send to my fans, just to say, I appreciate you. Or just, go, you know what, we've been through a lot, and this song the feeling of this song that this will give you encapsulates how much I appreciate you. This is one of them songs that has so much meaning and feeling that it really, really speaks so much more if you can share it with others. Which is why we're talking about it.
Yeah. And definitely this song is an unexpected gem, and even that, if the other songs on this album are even 50% of this song, it's gonna be amazing because there are 4 tracks on this album.
Yep.
Okay.
Let Your Soul Free, Thank You, which we just talked about, Fresh, and Tax Free.
Yep. So and I have no doubt that we'll all be checking these out right after recording this today. But also learning a lot more about Blueberry in general, because if this is not the first album, and he might have a multitude of other albums, then it just makes life even better.
I want to say it's not, because the name does feel familiar. I feel like I've heard his stuff before, and that this is just us
discovering,
or at least me rediscovering him.
Right.
Because I've been doing that a lot lately. I want to say the past 3 or 4 months, I've been rediscovering a lot of artists. I'm like, man, I forgot about this artist. Someone I've heard about back in 2017 or 2016, and okay, well, let me go see what else I missed from them. So
that's also that is part of the beauty and curse of this, of talking about so many MVs, is that we go through so many artists a week that we would have to write them all down to keep track of them, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, a lot of the artists we talk about, like Blueberry, like JoJo, right? They'll post, but they might not post that often.
Yeah.
And so you have to almost search for them. But if we did that for all the artists that we appreciate and talk about, we would be searching more than we'd be recording.
Yeah. And, one of my biggest problems is that there's just not enough hours in a day, for me to do everything that I want to do, which also includes just having a sit-down listening session for all these artists that I love.
Yep.
So,
there's just not enough time in life to appreciate all these songs, okay?
100%.
So, all right. Well, you guys, ready to take it on to another one?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. You want to take it away?
All right. So this one we have a debut with Park So-yeon, Flower. So before Jihoon, I'm not sure if this is 100% right, but Nick said that he recognized the artist from Produce.
Yep. Produce 101.
Produce 101, first season.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. She kind of went after season 1. She kind of went off radar.
Okay.
A lot of people lost track of her, but I know some people didn't. I also myself did, and then when I think Aura posted this.
No, Jihoon did.
Okay, Jihoon did. But when Jihoon posted this, I was like, she looks familiar. So I got to listen to it today, and I was like, oh, I know who this is. This is So-yeon from Produce.
Yep.
Also really exciting to see that she has debuted.
Yeah.
I know it's been a very long time coming, but yeah. So this is Flower.
Yep. You got a it's very pop.
It is.
Tropical house infusion. Maybe a little bit of hints of EDM at some points.
can I just say this is also criminally underrated?
You know, I was afraid that you weren't gonna like it.
Me?
Because like,
I guess the tropical house vibe, and I'm kind of on tropical house right now.
Mm-hmm. Plus, I mean, like you were never like you kind of had like a short tolerance for tropical house, like you like a little bit of it, but then like it just got too much for you. Whereas I have a much higher tolerance for it. Korea has a much higher tolerance for it in general because like tropical house really took off like 2019 and going into this year back in Korea.
Right.
So
I was half expecting you to say it was gonna be me that wasn't gonna like it.
Well, I mean that's kind of assumed for everything, anyways. So.
So I think a lot of the reason I do like this is because we're not in that like tropical house like vibe anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when summer hit, everyone was doing tropical house. I mean, that was just what everyone was doing, and that's pretty typical for summer, I feel. That being said, like now we're in that ballad slowdown or that R&B slowdown into a ballad boom that we're very much expecting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so for this song, like summer song to release now feels very refreshing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like I wasn't expecting anything like this. Especially a summer song right now. And so when this came out, I was completely jamming to it because it felt obviously it's not original, but it felt
fresh
original
for right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It felt completely fine right now. Now ask me again next summer because, well, I'll probably be sick and tired of songs like this again. But
because that's why when I first saw it, before I posted it, I had a sneaking suspicion that they had actually postponed her debut, seeing that so much other songs with tropical house had been released.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than get lost in the forest of tropical house or the jungle of tropical house, postpone it for like the winter time when no one else is releasing it and you can stand out.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is the case, smart play.
Yeah,
that was a very smart play by them. One thing I really like that I usually don't about tropical house, is usually my biggest gripe, but I think it fits well here, is those really high synths.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like they're almost like really high whistles at this point.
Yeah.
But normally I don't like that. Normally it kind of grates on me.
Right.
But I like it a lot here. And I think a lot of it also plays off the fact that they have a kind of higher kick sound, but also they have very American EDM subs under that, you know?
Yeah.
They also have very American EDM synths inside of that as well. And so I think it plays off well there.
Right.
Yeah. I can kind of see the whole getting I guess like tired of that sound or turned off by a sound, annoyed by it. Oh.
Yeah. There's actually a couple songs like in America that this reminds me of. And so I think that's kind of, but like at that time I listened to a lot of American pop. And so I think that's why I'm not totally annoyed by this.
Okay.
Is because I have connection. I have like something to connect it to, you know? But yeah, in general, I actually really like this song.
It was a nice break from every song that we listened to this week.
Yeah, also on top of that, I had listened to 3 R&B songs before this. I was really tired of R&B, I'm not gonna lie. R&B is great, okay? R&B is probably my favorite genre. I love R&B. That being said, R&B gets very bland very fast. It's pretty widely accepted. That's why R&B works very well in transition to hip-hop, in transition to funk. Yep. In transition to even like disco, any of that stuff, R&B works well as a great transition. But you gotta have something to break that sound up, and this was perfect for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, just I think going back to that to the high synth that you're talking about. I guess for myself, I guess it helps kind of add to like that kind of jungle imagery, where it's kind of like one of those bird calls that you hear off in the distance, especially with the way they mix it here. Right. It really does kind of give it like the feel of like it's off off in the distance.
And I think there's a good connection there because at the start they also had bird noises in the intro.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good connection there as well.
Yeah. So yeah. You guys know I like kind of high energy danceable songs. This is very much it for me. I mean, it's not like super high energy. It's
it's a good medium energy.
It's got pretty good energy to it. It's got a feel good type of atmosphere to it, especially with the visuals. It's a lot of what I've been kind of craving as of late. So unlike Nick, I have not got to the point yet where I feel like it's a bit too much R&B soul for me just yet. Almost getting there, almost, right? I think songs like this really help kind of prevent that from happening to me. So
I think definitely, as well as our music tastes go in general, you would just have a higher tolerance for repetition than I do. Even because, like, for example, a lot of tropical house is repetition.
Yep.
Reinforcing ideas.
Where the I guess what breaks up that repetition for me, for a lot of the songs, is that, like, yes, while the music itself may have repetition to it, it's usually in the vocals, in the way the vocals is delivered. So between both parts, as long as there's not repetition in the vocals, then I should be fine as well. Because some of the other songs like that we've cut the past few weeks, where both the vocal deliveries and the music have not changed after like the minute 50 mark, I'm like, okay, at a minute 50 the song should just stop right there. But they continued on for 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, now this is like way too repetitious. So we don't have that here, like, yes, she does eventually do go back to like the same kind of vocal delivery from earlier in the song, but there's parts in the song where she breaks it up, so it's enough of a it's not repetitious for me.
Right.
So,
and something I really appreciated about this music video was that it didn't like shift how fast the camera movement was, or like how fast the cuts were. It was just the right amount, and most of the areas that they did choose were very like consistent throughout the entire music video, instead of having like 50 different areas for a music video and trying to cram it all into one music video,
I mean that fits in very well with the pace of the song. I mean, I think if the song was a much higher tempo, then it would run into the things that you generally don't like with the much more rapid cuts.
It honestly flowed really well, and then seeing them just have fun while giving that like almost like, I wouldn't say angelic, but kind of like that forest nymph vibe or something like that.
The ethereal vibe.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, that's the word.
Yep. And now that you mention that, I can also, because of that ethereal vibe, that also resonates really strongly to, gives a really strong connection as well to like Oh My Girl. Or anything along those lines, which makes sense why also YG Hoon really likes this type of song.
Yeah. Even her vocal timbre would slide in very well with Oh My Girl. Yep.
I think it's got to happen now. She's just got to cover Oh My Girl songs.
Who knows? She may have already done one or two.
Yep.
So
has to. Time to check it out.
Yep. All right. So, this is the time to move it on to our next one, which is a pretty big one.
Yeah,
I think so.
Let's do it.
Right. So, Kwanboa, second gen soloist, one of like the biggest names of the second gen.
Oh, you don't need to introduce who she is. Everybody watching already knows.
Well, you could have those young ones who run around
them young
for that era.
There's a reason why she's called Queen Boa.
But she's working on her, she's got her 20th anniversary album coming up, and this music video is for a song off of that album. It's called Better. So, wow, there's some things I've noticed with this with the song itself. If you're to go back to her early albums, you're gonna hear some of the same chords. Like it's a callback to her her debut album IDPSB, I think it was called.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You hear some of those chords, and even some of the other early albums that came out after that. Mm-hmm. You hear it throughout the song. The visual style too. It's kind of a callback too as well. Like some of the outfits are also like kind of a callback to that era. Mm-hmm. So, Nick, what else did you pick up on the song?
So there is a lot, and like you were talking about, it's the callbacks. There's a lot of '90s aspects,
right?
Mm-hmm. But also on top of that, it is fused with very new wave type of music. You know, mm-hmm. There is some new disco elements. There's also a lot of funk aspects, which, I mean, BoA doing funk, who would have thought, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, so as far as that goes, I think there was, like, BoA as an artist, there was nothing that she could do that could shock me, you know? BoA could place herself in every genre and make it work.
Oh, yeah.
She is an extremely skilled artist, and an extremely skilled singer. Mm-hmm. And that aspect is very hard to find, is someone who could just insert themselves like that into just whatever they want to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the reasons why she was the queen of the era.
Actually. But, and she also has, okay, if anyone else aside from BoA did this song, I would dislike this song. But it's BoA, you know, like anyone that has lived in the second gen era, right? Mm-hmm. Almost has a soft spot for BoA, you know.
Yep.
There is like, you can't. Literally today, I was talking about. Forgive me, by the way. I was talking about cutting. Like, which one did I want to cut more between another song and this song? Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't bring myself to cut BoA.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like, also, like, this song, okay, we've talked about it before. I don't like disco. Mm-hmm. I really don't like disco. I like this song a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that also comes with the fact that the song requires a couple listens to really understand it.
And if you're familiar with her earlier discography as well, especially like her first two albums that came out, because just so much of it is a callback to that era. I mean, even within the vocal deliveries, right, with the backup singers, when they all come in, the way they all come in, very much from that era. That overarching bass that's coming through, that's present throughout the song, very much from that era. Like that was a lot of songs from the era did that. There's just so much here. I think people who experienced BoA from that time frame would have a lot more, like, we would just get a lot more nostalgia for it.
BoA is definitely one of those artists where you can read everything you want to about her. You could know her entire life story and know every single song word for word, and it's still just, it won't connect. You know, because quite literally, a lot of it was if you were there as she released stuff. You know.
Yep.
I mean, I wasn't even there for all of it, you know. But that being said, I was there for when she was still releasing, and even that, like, it was a time that you really had to, like, go through personally to like really understand.
Yeah, you know, it's gonna be the same with the IU. You know, IU right now is like one of the biggest soloists, if not the biggest soloist in the industry. There are people who are, you know, of this era, really into IU. You know, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, it's gonna be the same.
Yep. People won't understand why a lot of things IU does is just IU things, you know?
Yeah.
It's like this
IU things
song. It's just like this song with Boa, like the sand scene, right? Like why, like a lot of K-pop today is reasoning for scenes, right? Like what does the sand scene have to connect? It's Boa things. It has nothing to connect.
Yeah.
It's just Boa things.
Boa just does what she does, you know.
Boa just does what she wants and makes everything look good.
Which a lot of her early music videos were awesome.
Is exactly like it. Yep.
Yeah, and some of the even like some of the camera work too, man. Just like wow, it's like very much like going back to the era with some of her. I think it was one of her Japanese releases, Expect. There was a couple scenes in there. I was like, wow, it was like so much in the thought of that.
I remember that.
Yep. One thing that really threw it back was the water scene, dancing in the water.
Yep.
Because back when Boa was releasing music, that was another time where that water scene was super popular,
prominent. Yep, very prominent.
We've seen a resurgence of it lately. We've seen it. I mean, we've seen it in Eyes One. We've seen it in a number of other groups as well. And so Boa bringing that in, like, was playing on current times and older times as well.
Yep.
And like everything in this song is very planned out.
Right.
It is all very deliberate, and you know, there's one point in the song where she really belted out, like, it was a fairly high note with a lot of power to it. I was like, man, she still got it.
Yes.
All these years later, she still has it. Like
100%. And for as well, for a singer to maintain that level of singing ability, like, eventually, like everything rusts over time.
Yep.
You know, if you're a mechanic and you don't work on cars for 20 years, something will rust. You know, you will forget how to do certain things.
Yep.
And the fact that Boa, even though she hasn't been like out of the industry really,
her last release was last year December, I think it was.
Yeah. So but she hasn't really been out of the industry. But that being said, releasing a song, for example, only once a year, it's very easy for things to rust.
Yep.
But here she proves that she hasn't let that happen.
Right.
Yep.
No, and not same goes for her dancing ability. You know, she was
very well known for her dancing too during that era.
And for this music video, she was so spot on. Like, oh my gosh.
Yep. I remember, I don't know how much Jihoon you remember, but there was a time where, like, back in second gen, where everyone was coming out with lists of best dancers.
She was always on those lists.
Always on those lists. Always top 5. Easy.
Yeah.
I remember there was one news site that caught a lot of flack for her being number 4 in top 5.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because she wasn't top 3.
Yeah.
Like, I remember these things. Man, those times were really nuts. You
know, after listening to the song, I went back through my library and, you know, went to go listen to her older albums and just, you know how her voice sounds like, you know, mature in the song, because I mean, she's, you know, more mature woman. Her vocal timbre actually has not changed that much at all from when she was like 16, 15. Like,
she's done a really good job keeping that vocal timbre, but adding weight to the voice. Normally when people are 16, 15 and they debut, they don't have a lot of weight added to their voice. And that's because that comes with time, maturing into an adult and maturing as a person as well. But that being said, that comes with time, but usually people's timbres change.
Right.
It's very unusual for timbres not to change over time, given adding weight to your voice and stuff like that. But yeah, like you said, she really hasn't changed a whole lot.
Nope.
and that's quite impressive.
Even as early as 2004, so that was like her 4th album, I believe. Like that's basically around that time when her vocal timbre like really kind of settled into what it is right now. And she was how old at the time? She was like 18 or 19 at the time. So yeah, she's still, and not in a bad way, but she's still the same old queen.
Queen Boa.
Yeah. Oh man, for me, kind of going back through the back catalog for her, was just half of the experience for this music video. Seeing that journey, right? Hearing that journey.
Yeah, and man, I know all around the world, every second gen stan is smiling right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So.
Shall we move it on, or do we want to just continue praising Boa for how amazing she is?
I mean,
no, we haven't even hit half of it yet.
Yeah, it's never gonna be enough. So,
but we should probably move it on.
Yeah, I can definitely see another 30 minutes of just talking about how amazing Boa is.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Oh man, yeah. Because I mean, at that point, like, I still just want, which we'll end up going back and like reviewing all of her like music videos from early on to now.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Still gonna do that tonight anyway, but
yeah. I mean, who's not to say that I haven't done it already? You know.
True.
Yeah.
All right. So, Nick.
Yeah.
Take it away.
All right. So, this is WELOVE. Is it with another artist?
It's a duo. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Oh no, it's with Grace.
Okay.
Grace
so,
and
yeah.
WELOVE.
So it's Grace and WELOVE, with We Love Christmas.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And again, another criminally underrated song. But definitely some really nice. I guess I don't know really what to call this because it's not just straight soul R&B. There are funk elements. I guess I would call this like winter R&B, you know, because this kind of genre only really comes out when it's wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely a holiday type of R&B.
Mm-hmm.
Because just so for like the holiday type style of R&B is when they usually infuse a lot more of that kind of jazziness to it.
Yeah.
Yep. And you can hear that a lot in the piano. The piano is okay. Like the piano is going off on this entire song.
Yep.
Like the piano is just freestyling the entire song. I swear.
Yeah, and that's kind of goes back to what we had talked about before, off recording, about like I think that's kind of one of the reasons why you don't like jazz as much as like or at all compared to like myself and Aura, because that freestyle nature of jazz, you know, same with jazz and same with funk. Mm-hmm. Jazz and funk, they're much more kind of fast and loose with the rules, whereas other genres are much more structured.
Mm-hmm.
And much more kind of rigid with their structure.
Mm-hmm.
This also has a lot of blues elements inside of it.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, they employ a lot of blues elements, especially when the female vocalist comes in,
mm-hmm. and the guitar as well.
Yep. So, I will say my only gripe with the song, and it's more personal than anything else, is that I don't like the female vocalist tone.
Really?
Her vocal timbre, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought you liked it.
It's okay. You feel. I know you feel kind of insulted, you, and it's fine. We'll scrap later.
Mine is kind of like blown. It's like what?
My biggest thing is I don't feel like they play off each other that well, personally.
Mm.
I also feel like some of that could have been helped with a transition. But they didn't really transition into each other well. Because they have two very different timbres, two very different levels of air. Mm-hmm. You know, and I mean they're two vocalists, they're allowed to have that, but he's very subtle power.
Yep.
And she's very air raspiness
with a little bit of smokiness to it.
Yeah, they're almost polar opposites. Mm-hmm. And I don't like the way they've transitioned or just her being necessarily on this track.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say I'm the opposite. I really enjoyed her vocal timbre and what she brought to the song. I will say like the transitions could be better, but as far as like the kind of like that the atmosphere to the song, I like it. So,
yeah,
for sure.
Also, one thing to note as well was that drum solo. What was that? What was that?
That's very funk. That is very funk. So.
It was also so fast. Like it was so like BPM wise, it was so fast.
Yep. But again, it's all about that kind of freestyle nature to these genres. So and again, I think one of the reasons why I love that so much is because it is unpredictable. It's variety. I love variety, especially within a single song. And especially like like later on in the track too, when they had the kind of like the kind of like almost a gospel style backup singers coming in and adding in, came out of nowhere. I really loved that. So it was just so much that was just unexpected with the song for me. So.
I'm on the fence with this song.
Well, because you don't like Christmas songs in general.
Yeah.
You don't like songs in general. You don't like
that
music.
too. Yeah.
Ow. Ow. I like the feel of the song, but I also because it's a Christmas style song, it's not something for me. But like for people who do like it, I can understand where they actually really appreciate it. For people who don't, I can also see the same way. That's why I'm on the fence, is because I can kind of see both sides. And this also didn't seem like a really like high budget like Christmas. It's like more of a, hey, we're having a kind of a friendship gathering for the holidays, and that honestly was a very nice feel for the music video.
Yeah, it kind of felt like one of those kind of, what was it, behind the scenes camera.
Very much so.
I guess my only problem with the song is that it's a Christmas song, so it's only gonna feel appropriate to listen to it around this time of the year.
Yeah.
So, and even if you were to take away the lyrics, the Christmas lyrics, right, and make it much more like an all season type of lyrics, the style and presentation of the actual musical accompaniment itself as well.
Yeah.
It's just wouldn't really.
It's very holiday oriented.
Yeah. So, like even without the words Christmas in there, you will know that it's a Christmas song.
Yeah.
Yep. So. Yep. Come January 1st, the song's not gonna really be playable much anymore.
Nope. So, but for the time being,
it is a nice song.
This is kind of what we expected, a ballad boom around the holiday. You know, this makes sense.
Yep. So, and there's other people out there who are not like Aura, who are not a Grinch, who love Christmas and love everything to do with it and want all the things that come with it. For you people out there, pick up on this.
Yep, definitely pick up the song if you're also like a Christmas in July type of person.
Because those people exist.
Yeah,
those people do exist.
Yep.
So
at least I'm being called something different this time for this episode.
You're old.
I mean, you're a Grinch because you're old.
Yep.
I mean, if I was as old as you, I'd be a Grinch too.
True. Grumpy old man.
Had to live through the whole Han Dynasty and
I mean, yeah.
This
it's hard. You can't talk to a guard wrong. You might lose your life.
Yeah,
it's rough. All right. Anyway, so
song of the week, MV of the week.
Oh man,
let's go to song of the week.
Yeah. I have a hard time deciding between.
Me too.
Really?
JoJo and Blue Bear. I think I'm leaning towards Blue Bear, but every time I say that, I want to say like I think I'm leaning towards JoJo. I can't decide between the two, so I'm just gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna say I pick both.
Nick?
I can't decide between JoJo or Blue Bear.
And BO.
Oh man, BO. So I really can't decide between JoJo and Blue Bear. So, but I think, again, a lot of my deciding factor comes down to replayability, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely feel like I could listen to Blue Bear many more times than I could JoJo if it was on repeat, or if it was in a playlist. I also think Blue Bear breaks up the playlist a lot better.
Right.
So I'm going to pick Blue Bear.
So, so it looks like we got another all kill. It looks like we got another all kill.
Blue Bear?
Yep, Blue Bear. It is such a feel good song.
And you know, I think too, like, for me, like the imagery as well of the music video, like that very nighttime urban imagery, I really enjoyed that as well, because like I said, I really enjoy that style. It's one of my favorite things to do is drive around at night, with friends and whatnot. So yeah,
this is what, the third, maybe the fourth time we've all picked a song, but this is also the first time that it's happened this often.
Yeah. And
yeah, so usually we're relegated to about once a year.
Yeah.
I think we had once last year.
Yep. Only one last year.
But this is the second time this year that we've had an all kill. Which speaks a lot to the level of like greatness K-pop is getting to.
Right? We actually agree.
Yeah, which is really hard to do with Aura.
I know, right?
It really is. Anyway, so yeah, I am thoroughly surprised that we have an all kill, but hey man, if it, like, for how great this song is,
listen to it.
Yep.
For real. All right, quick shots
with Aura.
Yep.
With Aura.
Right? It's been a while since it's just been me. So far we've only got one. By the time this actually releases, this is actually released, but there is going to be a variety show called Running Girls. It's going to involve Sunmi, Chungha, Exit's Hani, Oh My Girl's Yua, and Luna's Chu. So, and
I love all those people.
Yeah, it is chaotic.
Oh my god!
It is chaotic
energy.
Oh my god!
I love every single one of those people.
Chaotic energy in a nutshell. Like, everyone is there is chaotic neutral. I am here for it.
I'm so down for it, bro. Like, I love every single one of those. Oh man, it's perfect. Perfect.
And it premieres, as of this episode, it premiered December 9th. So
it should be out by the time this comes out. Yeah.
Watching it as it releases.
Oh my god. Yes.
100%. All right. I also have quick shot.
Okay.
All right, what you got?
All right. So, this is a video we didn't talk about. NCT released NCT 2020 released their song Resonance. It combines 4 singles from their previous albums into a singular song. And definitely go check it out. It's actually rather long. It's 5 minutes and 35 seconds.
Yep.
Okay. Doing really well. It's posted up on SM Town. Make sure you go check that out. Let us know what you think in the comments down below as well. And with that, are we ready to sign off?
Yeah.
Already.
All right. Thank you for watching. This has been Idol Nation. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon if you want to know when we upload in the future. We have a Twitter. Make sure you go follow that. We post when we post videos, that gets posted there as well. We have a Discord. We talk there as well as post MVs of what we might talk about for the next week. And we have a Patreon. If you really like our content and want to consider giving back so we can make even better content for you, make sure you check that out. Links will be in the description down below, as well as all of the MVs. And with that, we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.